Hey, it's Farah here. How are you doing? And today I want to explain to you how you can get rid of the fear of flights. So for these last 5 years, I've been traveling the world, going to different seminars, events, or even teaching things myself. And in the beginning, when I used to go on the airplane, I would look around me and I would see people afraid to be there. And I thought, whoa, if only I could help them. And then I learned these particular tools. Now guess what happens each time I go on an airplane? They fall asleep in half an hour. They are super relaxed. They are just completely relaxed. And it's amazing. And I wonder if the same can be true for you, or maybe you're watching this because you want to help someone else with their fears. Now, there are a few things I want you to understand before we start. One of them is that most people think that because this fear response seems so automatic, that it is permanent. Whenever you would think of an airplane, boom, there is a reaction, oh, fear. But I want you to note that fear has been developed at some point in time in the past, and that you weren't born with the fear. And because you weren't born with the fear, it didn't always exist. And if it didn't always exist, it doesn't need to always keep on existing. If it has been developed at some point, it can be redeveloped or undeveloped so that you don't have that fear response anymore. The second thing I want you to understand is that this fear response comes forth out of your unconscious. You're not thinking about it, it almost seems to just happen. So in order to solve the issue of the fear, we gotta solve it on an unconscious level. And for this, we gotta know how the unconscious works, or what language the unconscious speaks, so that we can tweak any experience or any response into a different way so that we don't have the fear any longer. So what is this language of the unconscious, you might think? Well, predominantly, you could say that the unconscious works with emotion and with pictures, and we can tweak them around a bit. Now imagine that you could remember exactly when and how and where that fear has been developed. Maybe you were 4, 8, whatever it was. There was a specific point in time when for the first time you became afraid of airplanes. So suppose you can remember this event. I just want you to, from a distance, look at it. Hear what you would hear there. And if you could, just distance your feelings from this memory. Now, if you don't have any particular memory that you know of, you can think of anything that you imagine or that you think is the cause. Anything that you think, always when that happens, boom, I get into that fear response. What do you notice within this memory or within this thought? Because, for example, if in your memory you see a waitress walking with cups of water and she spills them over because of the turbulence, and your focus went there completely, and maybe you amplified this in your mind. And so when you think back of that fear of flights, you now see these cups that were spilled over and you would hear this turbulence. Now, what else did you not see that was happening? Maybe there was a person sleeping next to the waitress that you didn't see. And maybe you didn't see what clothes she was wearing, what color they were. Now maybe you didn't hear the sound of your own breathing or the breathing of a person sitting next to you. So there were so many points that you could have focused on that were different from the points that you remember focusing on. And maybe you've heard the saying that goes, where focus goes, energy flows. In other words, if we would change your focus in that particular memory or that particular thought, guess what? Your response to it will change. If you would shift that focus, you would shift the memory and therefore you would shift the feeling of the memory. Another way that you could shift this memory or thought is that you play around with the elements. You now have a picture or a movie that either plays sounds or doesn't play sounds when you think back of that moment in time. And maybe there is some feeling too. Now let's tweak some of the elements. If it's a really big picture or movie, shrink it, make it smaller. If it's light, make it dark, make it dim. Maybe you could increase the lights, make it very, very light. And if you would hear some sounds, add some elements to it. Maybe your favorite song. Do you have a favorite song? Or a musical, or just funny music. And you would hear it play in that experience. La 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 la, and all this light. And maybe these waitresses that you see walking around start dancing. Why not? You know exactly what happened. So now it's time to tweak the experience so that you can tweak the feeling that you have associated to the experience. Get it so far? This thing, what I'm explaining, is super, super simple. But it's not necessarily easy. And there is an element that for you creates the biggest shift. Now change that element around and your whole experience will shift. Now this technique is especially useful for if you are just thinking of a fear or just thinking of a memory. And if you happen to be in an airplane and someone is completely associated with the fear, so they are completely in the experience, I suggest that you do another exercise. And this other exercise, I can explain that in another video. For now, thank you so much for watching. If you thought this was valuable, please share it with your friends. If you think you can help someone with it, please share it as well. Like it. You can comment below. I'm Farah Lutvica. I love you more than you know, and I'll see you next time.